Is it time to panic?
Oh, Jenna, the annual tradition. Is it time to panic about a LeBron James team right before the All-Star break? But this is a concerning sign because one more loss to the Wizards and they match the season total losses to the Wizards the Nets already have. So you don't want to reach that total. So let's
This is not about the Nets.
Let's take stock. I'm just saying. It just first thing that came to mind. Let's take stock of what happened last night. Listen, LeBron's stat line is impressive, but he didn't play well. He had turnovers, missed a critical free throw, and hit a 3 to open the game, and then went 1 of 9 from 3 the rest of the way. And that's kind of the trifecta. If you're going to have a bad LeBron James game, he's going to be sloppy with the ball. His outside shot's not going to fall. And as an added bonus, he did miss a free throw with a few seconds left in regulation that would have put them ahead by 1, potentially, to avoid overtime. And right now, when there's no Anthony Davis and this part's underrated, no Dennis Schroeder, the third best offensive player on the team, LeBron's going to have to play excellent every night. He played pretty well for the majority of last night, but the turnovers were a killer. And so, no, it's not time to panic, but I will point one thing out that predates Anthony Davis's injury, which is last year, the Lakers were an all-time NBA best. I think it was 59-0. I know they were undefeated when leading after 3 quarters. This year, they are 15-3 when leading after 3 quarters. Last year, Brandon, they were like the Yankees with Mariano Rivera, except instead of an 8-inning game, it was a 3-quarter game. If they were up after 3, it was over. This year, that hasn't been the case, so they have to clean that up. LeBron's got to clean the turnovers up, but no, it is not time to panic in Los Angeles, Brandon.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. It's not time to panic, Jenna. But this is a reality check. This is not the same championship team from last year, obviously. There's no Dwight Howard. There's no JaVale McGee. There's no Rajon Rondo. You know, you have Marc Gasol. I mean, he can't carry the load. And then you also have the other big guy out there who's not playing well, and Markieff Morris. Like, Markieff Morris is having a bad year, and no one's really talking about. Those are the little things that we miss out when you have superstars on your team like Anthony Davis and LeBron James to get all the headlines. LeBron James, he does seem tired, Nick, but this is exactly what he has to do. You got to think about how we ended the season last year. We ended the season with them in the bubble holding up the trophy with another NBA title. And we were talking about this being the passing of the torch. This was the year where, you know, AD was going to step into his own and potentially lead the Lakers to another 2 championships. Well, AD was playing bad before the injury. Now he's injured. So this is all bad for the Lakers, but it's just more of a reality check than it is time to hit the panic button.
Well, and the other thing is this, and Jenna laughed when I said it at the beginning, but she knows this from the last 4 years doing this show. It's usually late January that LeBron James teams hit a bit of a lull right before the All-Star break. This year, it came late February, and I was like, oh, that's odd, but it's not odd. The season started a month late, and it's you can set your clock to it. Good to his time in Miami, his time in Cleveland, last year with the Lakers, around this time.
Yeah, but
what's
this is
unfortunate
a
for the Lakers... Go ahead, Brandon.
This is a different situation. Sorry to cut you off, buddy, but, like, you got to think about it. This is not the Cleveland Cavaliers where LeBron James was a one-man band and he had to do it all. Like, this is a team that was probably the most complete team in the NBA before the season started. So I think it's a totally different situation. So, yeah, you're probably right that this is usually what happens with LeBron James' team. But from a personnel standpoint, this was a really good team. They're just depleted.
But... Right, and correct. And so because right now they do look a lot like that last Cavs year with LeBron, because the Lakers without Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder are not a great basketball team. They have a great player, the greatest player, and then a bunch of guys who are supposed to be 4th, 5th, 6th options who are being accelerated up the depth chart. But the bigger problem, Jenna, is The loss to Miami, which shouldn't have happened. The loss to the Wizards, and I know they've won 5 straight, which shouldn't have happened. If you look at their next 4, it's Utah, Portland, Golden State,
Yikes.
Phoenix. A 3-game losing streak, their longest of the year, is no big deal. You lose 5 or 6 in a row, and it starts being more concerning, and they're all of a sudden about to face, Jenna, some of the best teams in basketball over the next week and a half before the break.
And what do we know about LeBron? His answer to that, when he's a one-man show, is to lean in, which